This is Mr. Whipple, and we're going to do Studies Weekly 5, Our Most Precious Document. I'll tell you, this is a long one, so be patient with me. The Constitution of the United States of America is the document that created our national government, national laws, and defined basic rights for all citizens. The Constitution has 7 main articles. These articles describe the structure of the government and created some national laws. The Founding Fathers also devised a way to change the Constitution by passing amendments. Currently, there are 27 amendments to the Constitution. The Bill of Rights was passed 4 years after the Constitution. Let's look a little more in depth at the history and some of the unique parts of the Constitution. History. Before the Revolution, the colonies were under the control of Great Britain. Many colonists were unhappy being subjects of a king and not having direct control over their government. They did not like living in a monarchy. Once the Revolution was won, the creators of the Constitution wanted to be sure that the United States did not become a monarchy again. Many other writers worried that what would happen to the country over time. As they wrote the Constitution, they added many parts that would make sure America would stay a democracy. Separation of powers. The Constitution created 3 different branches of the government. These 3 branches share power and responsibility. This was done so that no one person or group of people would be able to take full power of the country. The legislative branch is the lawmakers. When it came time to decide how many lawmakers would come from each state, a problem arose. People from large states wanted to base the number on population. That way, the large states would have the most lawmakers. Those from states with a smaller population wanted to give each state an equal number. How did they solve this problem? They created 2 houses of government. The Senate consists of 2 senators from each state. The first Senate had 26 senators who came from 13 states. Now the Senate has 100 senators, 2 from each of the 50 states. Senators are elected every 6 years. If there is a tie, the vice president votes and breaks the tie. The House of Representatives has members based on the population of each state. The first house had 65 representatives, whereas today it has 435, and they are elected every 2 years. Every 10 years, the United States takes a census and counts the number of people living in the country. Then the number of representatives from each state may change, but there will always be 435 total. The main role of the legislative branch is to make laws. Laws are introduced and voted upon in both houses. If majority rules in both, the bill goes to the president for a signature. Laws cover many different things. There are laws about taxes, individual rights, and budgets. Some laws are passed in one chamber, but not the other, and will not become laws. The executive branch is the president, vice president, and cabinet members. Cabinet members are the leaders of different areas of government chosen by the president. The president is called the commander-in-chief and is in charge of all the armed forces. The president also signs or vetoes laws. The executive branch is responsible for making sure all laws are followed. The third branch of government is the judicial branch. The judicial branch includes all of the federal courts and judges. The Supreme Court justices are chosen by the president and then approved by the Senate. This is different from both the executive and the legislative branch, whose members are elected. The judicial branch looks at laws to decide if they are constitutional. Checks and balances. Not only did the Founding Fathers create 3 separate branches of government, they also created what is known as checks and balances. This means that each branch of government has the power to stop or check another branch. These powers create branches that are equal and balanced. No one branch can become too powerful if each branch does its duties described in the Constitution. Look at the graphic of checks and balances. You can see that the judicial branch can declare laws and presidential actions unconstitutional. The executive branch can veto laws, but the legislative branch can then override the veto with a two-thirds majority. The executive branch also appoints judges, but the legislative branch can remove judges. The president chooses his cabinet, but the members must be approved by the legislative branch. The president is commander in chief, but the legislative branch is the one to declare war and allot money to the military. All of these checks and balances were included to make sure that one person or group of people does not become too powerful. This system works as long as each branch of the government fulfills the role given to it by the Constitution. Dual sovereignty. At the Constitutional Convention, the Federalists and Anti-Federalists disagreed about the role of the federal government. Federalists wanted a strong central government, while Anti-Federalists wanted more powers given to the individual states. The compromise created a government with dual sovereignty. This means that the Constitution gives specific powers to the federal government. Any powers not given to the federal government are given to the states. This system is defined in the 10th Amendment. Thank you very much for your patience.